Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our Discovery unit for this month, so you can probably see programs on Discovery Channel all about what we're talking about today. And the subject for today's lesson is the Amazon of the East. You can see the beauty of Borneo in this program, which again is entitled The Amazon of the East. Sounds pretty cool.Yeah,
it's something I know nothing about. So that's the best time to watch Discovery. If they're doing a program where I really don't have any experience with that place, or I've never had friends go there, it's kind of fun to get a peek at a different part of the world. If it's the Amazon of the East, you know there's a lot of jungle there, a lot of exotic animals. Sounds like a fun place to visit.From your sofa, it's probably very warm. And if you've listened to our program for a while, you know I don't like to sweat. I don't like to be hot. I do like cool weather. So this is probably not a place I'm going to put on my list to visit in the near future. It's too hot.
Yes, Borneo, of course, is that island that's half between Malaysia and Singapore. And so, of course, it's got this big rainforest there. And this fella here, this photographer, Ced Prudente, is going down there taking pictures. He wants to make a book of photography to kind of bring about awareness to this place. And this show on Discovery Channel can do just that if you check it out and if you listen to our article read right now one time. A green forest of towering trees comes to life as the sun rises. Within this forest, thousands of animal species, from tiny insects to huge mammals, form an environment teeming with life. All life here is centered on one body of water, the Kinabatangan River. This 560-kilometer river winds through the Malaysian state of Sabah on northeastern Borneo, supporting a vast rainforest with such diverse life that it rivals the Amazon. In Animal Planet's new documentary series, The Amazon of the East, we journey down this river with wildlife photographer Ced Prudente to learn about the richness of the region, along with the challenges it faces today. For 20 years, Ced has devoted himself to photographing the varied wildlife along the Kinabatangan River. In this show, his goal is to capture photos of several rare species and natural events to eventually publish them in a photography book. Accompanied by local guide Rizal, Ced tracks and shoots photos of proboscis monkeys, orangutans, pygmy elephants, bats, and more. He hopes to awaken people's interest in the region in order to aid in its conservation, as like many other wild places in the world, the forests here are under grave threat of destruction. No one knows this better than the Orang Sungai, the indigenous people who have made their livelihoods from the river for thousands of years. While they strive to maintain a balance with nature and protect the river, recent economic hardship has forced many Orang Sungai to turn to plantation agriculture. This means that forest is being cleared to make way for farms, shrinking the animals' ranges. This can present serious dangers for both the wildlife and the farmers.
So we're going to dive into our Discovery unit. It's part of Animal Planet. I tend not to watch Animal Planet, but this sounds more like a travel show for me. Although you will see very exotic animals if you tune in to this show, The Amazon of the East. Sometimes when we want to compare things, we use a real place to compare it with something else that's not really called that. And here the title is doing that. See the beauty of Borneo in the Amazon of the East. We know the Amazon is not in the East. It's not in Asia. But it's a way to compare what it must look like and feel like, even though it's not really the Amazon. So we've got a green forest of towering trees, and they've come to life. If you've got something that's towering Tower, of course, is a very high structure. Towering just means it's really extremely tall, especially in comparison to the things around it, to the surroundings. So we've got a really pretty scene that's being described. I love the forest. I'm not so excited about the jungle. There are lots of scary animals there, especially snakes.
Lots of bugs, too.
Oh, lots of bugs. And it's hard to get through a forest. Sometimes you need one of those very large knives called a machete to cut through the jungle. And definitely you need a guide, right, to take you because you could easily get lost in something that's being described as the Amazon of the East.
Right. So again, the Amazon River is in South America, but this river is like the Amazon, except it's on the island of Borneo. And this is what you can expect to see there if you're in Borneo, a vast forest, a green forest of towering trees. It comes to life as the sun rises. And within this forest, thousands of animal species, from tiny insects to huge mammals, form an environment teeming with life. So, of course, we've got different kinds of animals in this forest, thousands of animal species, and the range here is from tiny insects to huge mammals. So you basically have everything here, from small insects to big mammals, actually. And all together they form this environment that is teeming with life. So here we've got the phrase teeming with life. That just means you have all sorts of life here. It's very abundant, it's very active, and you just can't miss it.
And notice, though, guys, it's not spelled like a group of people who are working together or playing a sport. It's actually T-E-E-M-I-N-G, teeming with life. We often use it to talk about wildlife, the wilderness, especially if a river has a lot of fish. I know we'll often say it's teeming with fish. So all life here is centered on one body of water. This is where they get their life from. They eat, they drink there. Everything is centered around that particular river. Kinabatangan River. It's quite long. It's 560 kilometers long. But because we're using 560 kilometer as an adjective, guys, notice there is no S on it. When you use numbers that precede a noun, and that is being used as an adjective, don't put an S on it. For example, I could say, Tom has a 17-year-old daughter. She's 17 years old.
Well, she's actually 18 now, so to correct you, I have an 18-year-old daughter. You might have a 5-year-old son or something like that. You can use this also to talk about distances, as it does here. Kaohsiung is, what, a 6-hour drive from Taipei or something like that. Or you could say, oh, it's a 10-minute hike. It's a real easy, don't worry about it. But in this particular case, this is quite a long river, a 560-kilometer river. It winds through the Malaysian state of Sabah on northeastern Borneo. And, of course, you've got all sorts of life there again. So here we've got the verb to wind, which means it kind of goes back and forth. A winding river.
A curving river.
Right. The Geelong River winds through parts of northern Taiwan. You could say that. And this is a state of Malaysia. Of course, Malaysia is split into East Malaysia and West Malaysia. East Malaysia is on the island of Borneo. And here we've got the state of Sabah, where this river flows. And there is a big rainforest there. In fact, it's a vast rainforest.
Yeah.
Vast means huge, very large, and it's got lots of diverse life. And because it has so much diverse life, it rivals the Amazon. Diverse means you got all sorts of different kinds of life. And to rival means they kind of compete against each other, which basically means that, hey, this rainforest on Borneo is almost as diverse as the rainforest in the Amazon in South America.
Wow. Here we're using rival as a verb, which we usually see it as a noun. I've used this example before. The Boston Red Sox are rivals of the New York Yankees. Here, as Tom said, it's actually being compared to the Amazon in South America. They're both very, very big rivers, and they wind back and forth in what we would describe as a jungle, I'm sure. So in Animal Planet's new documentary series called, oddly enough, The Amazon of the East, We journey down this river with a photographer that we're going to talk about in a minute. If you are watching a documentary, you're watching a film, you're not reading a book, guys. Documentaries have to be on film, I should say. And usually documentaries are about real people, real life. They do a lot of research. And I actually quite like documentaries.Sometimes you'll see a movie like Social Network? It was about the beginning of Facebook. That wasn't a documentary, although it was based on real people, real incidents. But there was a lot of fiction in it because movies have to be exciting. But a documentary is really supposed to be based on facts only.Indeed.
So this, of course, is the kind of program you often see on Animal Planet or on Discovery Channel. They're the same company. But this particular documentary series is entitled The Amazon of the East, again referring to the Kinabatangan River on Borneo. And in this program, we journey down this river with wildlife photographer Ced Prudente to learn about the richness of the region, along with the challenges it faces today. So that's what happens in this program. We're going down the river here, the Kinabatangan River in Borneo there, and we're coming along with a photographer, someone who takes pictures. But this particular photographer is a wildlife photographer, a photographer who specializes in taking pictures of wildlife, of animals, of birds, of plants, and stuff like that. And his name is Ced Prudente.And we're coming along with him in this program to learn about the richness of the region, all the different things that you can see there, the different kinds of animals, the different kinds of plants, the different kinds of people who live there. But also we're seeing the challenges it faces today. Like a lot of forests around the world, it is in trouble because of deforestation and other issues.
Of people. People are hurting our forests, our wildlife.Wildlife are the animals that live out in the wild. If you have a pet, they're not considered wildlife. So it's the wild animals as a group. So we're going along with Ced, and he already knows this area quite well. So he would be a terrific guide to go with, actually. As Tom said, when it's described as being rich, we're not talking about money here, guys. We're talking about...Something that it's very plentiful. There's a lot of it. Maybe you've had some rich chocolate lately. It's very, very rich, meaning it's got a lot of taste to it. Or maybe rich coffee. It's quite dark, usually. So we're going to talk about what they find as they journey through the forest. But first, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.Hi
everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们要看的是第15单元。好，其实我们要介绍的是一个节目，是在 Animal Planet， 也就是动物星球频道的一个新的纪录片。这个节目名称叫做 The Amazon of the East。好，大家都猜出来了吗？Amazon 其实我们想到的好像不是在东方，而是在南美洲。可是呢，你知道在东方，也就是亚洲这里，也有一个就像 Amazon 这个区域一样，它有丰富多元的这种生态环境，所以说它是东方的亚马逊。好，那这个节目介绍的这个东方亚马逊地点就在于 Borneo 婆罗洲，这是我们中文的翻译。我们就来看看这个地方有什么样特别之处。那提到了地理区块里面，它的生态很丰富，这里有一大片的高耸的树林，这样子的森林，当然我们知道这是热带雨林区。Towering trees 这个修饰语也要特别留意。Towering 用在修饰树木或者是建筑体都可以，就表示它是高耸的。这些高耸的树木，你随着太阳升起，这些树林、这些森林就醒过来了。Comes to life。好，这个地方片语就是醒过来，又恢复了生机。好，那我们知道这个森林里面呢，就有各种的数以千计的各种的物种，从昆虫到哺乳动物，这是一个 environment teeming with life。我们看到这个片语teeming with， 这就表示丰富的、繁荣的、充满了生机。再来提到这一个区块呢，是以某一个水域为中心，它用到了片语 All life here is centered on one body of water。 好，以什么为中心？注意到 be centered on something。提到了这条560公里长的河流，它穿过了婆罗洲东北边的马来西亚沙巴州。好，那我们知道，我们说这个节目叫做 The Amazon of the East， 在动物星球频道上的这个节目里，我们就会跟着一个摄影师，然后呢，一起顺着这条河往下旅行，来了解这边的生态丰富性，还有它现在所面临的挑战。好，我们看到 along with 这个片语 along with 其实就相当于 together with， 也就是与什么一起。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue with our lesson. Again, we're talking about the Kinabatangan River on Borneo and the rainforest all around it. And we're exploring this river with a wildlife photographer by the name of Ced Prudente. And he's telling us all about the richness of the region. He's describing all the wildlife there and the challenges that the rainforest faces today. Now, for 20 years, Ced has devoted himself to photographing the varied wildlife along the Kinabatangan River. So again, if you like to take pictures, you like photography. And if you take pictures, you are a photographer. But here, photograph is the picture and it's also a noun. Photograph. Be careful with the accent there. Photograph. I'm photographing the varied wildlife here. I am a photographer. So be careful with the pronunciation again there. Again, he's photographing the various wildlife along this river. Again, from the tiny bugs to the huge mammals.
Yeah. So here he is in this jungle region by this long, winding river. And in this particular show, we're referring to the Amazon of the East. His goal is to capture photos of several rare species and natural events, and then eventually publish them in a photography book. These kind of books, we often refer to these types of books as coffee table books, books that are put out for your guests to look through when they come to your home to visit. It's not something you'd actually read, but you'd want to look at. The pictures are going to be, I'm sure, amazing. We use this verb capture when we want to actually save sound or save some sort of image forever. To capture somebody on film just means to film them. So he's going to try to get some photos of very rare species of animals that most people don't ever get to see. Unless you have a zoo, in your city or your country, you probably haven't seen a lot of the wildlife out there. And I'm sure there are lots of animals that never make it to a zoo. That's okay with me. I'd rather leave them out there to live in their own habitat.
Indeed. And of course, sometimes photographs look best in books,
True.
Especially if they're huge books.
Yeah.
Sometimes looking at pictures on your phone or on your TV screen or your computer screen, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to have them in a book on a big piece of paper. And again, he's a photographer, and that's mostly what he does. So he's devoted to photographing the wildlife there. That's basically his life goal. And again, he wants to put them in a book of photography. Now, accompanied by local guide Rizal, Ced tracks and shoots photos of proboscis monkeys. That's a kind of monkey with a special kind of nose that kind of sticks out.
It's kind of wide and long, huh?
It's kind of cute, actually. So he takes pictures of them.
Yeah? I want to say, Tom, his nose looks like a big fat tongue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what a proboscis nose
He's
is.
cute.
But again, that's probably a species of monkey that's, original to that area, and it needs to be protected. He also takes pictures of orangutans. We know what those are. Pygmy elephants. Those are like small elephants. And, of course, there are different species of bats there. Bats are all over the world, and lots of people think they're kind of scary, but they actually are very beneficial to us. They eat insects and things like that. And there, of course, are other animals that he photographs for this book as well.
And what's his goal? He hopes to awaken people's interest in the region. I don't know a lot about this region, so if you're awakening someone's interest means you're stirring it up. You're getting them interested in something they may not have seen before, heard before, because he really wants to help the conservation in this area. Conservation means taking great care of our wildlife, plants, animals, making sure it's not destroyed by construction or deforestation, where they take down the trees perhaps to build buildings. Or maybe they're doing it to plant some agriculture. We'll talk about that.
Yep, he wants to awaken their interest.
Yeah.
He wants to arouse their interest, to stimulate their interest, to help out with the protection, the conservation of this area. Because, like other wild places in the world, the forests here are under grave threat of destruction. Grave means very serious. If you don't do something about it soon, it's going to be...
He's in grave condition.
Right. It's going to be a very difficult situation, or it's going to be hard to correct the situation if you don't act soon. And destruction, that refers to when you basically destroy something. The destruction of the temple, for example. Sometimes that can happen if somebody destroys a temple. You can say, you can talk about the destruction, the process of destruction of a temple or some kind of building. Now, moving on to the next paragraph here, it says, no one knows this better than the Orang Sungai, the indigenous people who have made their livelihoods from the river for thousands of years. So here in Borneo, of course, you've got a local tribe of people, a nation of people, I suppose, the indigenous people who have lived there since the beginning. That's what indigenous means, the original people, the first people who lived there. We could talk about the indigenous people of Taiwan, the various tribes, the Amis, the Tayal, the Puyuma, etc. Those are all the indigenous people of Taiwan. This is a group of people in Borneo called the Orang Sungai. I hope I said that right. And, they've been making their livelihoods. They've been earning their living from the river. The river has provided them their life for thousands of years.
Yeah, livelihood just means a means of securing the necessities of life: food, clothes, shelter. They're striving, it says, to maintain a balance with nature and protect that river. But recent economic hardship has forced the Orang Sungai to turn to plantation agriculture. So if you strive to do something, guys, it means you're making a very valiant effort. You're putting a lot of work into something to achieve or accomplish something. You want to strive to do the best you can at your job or in school so that your futures are prosperous. Here, they're striving to maintain that balance with nature. They care about that area, of course, and they're trying to protect the river. Sounds like they did a lot of fishing there earlier. Now, if you're having economic hardship, you're having a hard time with your livelihood, you're not having the ability to get enough food to eat, maybe clothes, shelter, and it's forced these indigenous people there to turn to plantation agriculture. Plantation just means you're planting a lot of crops, right? So in order to do that, you're going to have to cut down the forests, which is really hard. And it's hard on the wildlife around there because that's their home.
Yep, so this means that the forest is being cleared to make way for farms.
Right.
The forests are being cut down, basically, so they can have these big farms. And that is shrinking the animals' ranges. Shrinking here from the verb to shrink just means to make something smaller. Don't put wool in a dryer or it will shrink.
Right.
This can present serious dangers for both the wildlife and the farmers. So again, if you affect the animals' populations, they might get hungry, they might attack you, they might try to destroy your farms. So it's a pretty grave situation. Hopefully we'll learn more about it because of the efforts of said Prudente. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
好，我们继续来看，我们节目里面说它是东方亚马逊，然后呢，我们要跟着摄影师一起沿着这条河往下旅行，了解这个地方的生态环境，还有它面临的问题。那这个摄影师呢，他其实有20年了，都致力于这一个地方所有的各种野生动植物。注意到 devote 这个字，它呢也很有趣。当你说你致力于什么，某某人 devote himself to something， 这个 to 是介系词哦，后面加 VING， 所以 photography 加了 ING。当然，如果不用反身，你用被动也可以 be devoted to。还是介系词的 to。 好了，我们继续来看。这个节目当然跟这个摄影师他拍摄这些动物的照片，然后最后他想要把它刊登在一本摄影集里。好，他带着向导，然后拍摄这个地方的野生动物，包括大家可能不太熟悉的 proboscis monkeys， 这个呢是长鼻猴，还有 orangutans红毛猩猩，还有 pygmy elephants 侏儒象，当然 bats 大家知道这是蝙蝠。好，那它主要的目的当然是希望唤醒大家保育动物的重要性，因为这里的森林其实已经受到了迫害。好，接下来我们就看看，说到这边环境受到迫害，谁最懂呢？ No one knows this better than。 好，当你用 no one 就表示没有人比他们更了解。换言之，用最高级来想，就是以下讲了这些人，他们是最了解的，这些人称为河民。而这些河民是谁呢？他也就是这里的原住民，住在这一条河流边，然后呢，好几千年以来，主要是希望能维持自然之间的平衡，能保护这个河流。好，可是呢，现在问题来了，因为你知道经济的问题，当你生活过得不好，经济有困难，你就想要赚钱，那怎么办呢？他们现在开始 turn to plantation agriculture， 就是转向了种植农业。这样一来，当然这里的生态就受到了干扰跟危害了。好，我们今天讲解就到这边结束，谢谢听众们的聆听。
Okay, that's it for today, everybody. But make sure you tune in next time when we continue to talk about the Amazon of the East and what said Prudente is doing to help out this rainforest in Borneo. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.